What's up? What's up? It's your boy Saucy Rossy, the Canadian king of backyard barbecue, and I made delicious smoked beef ribs with beans and candied jalapenos. This was one of the easiest recipes I've put together recently. I saw TFTI Barbecue do something like this, and I just knew I had to try it myself. So make sure you like and subscribe. Hit those buttons ASAP. Come along for the ride. I'm going to show you this entire recipe. Let's just talk about it. I always start off with a delicious cut of meat. Like, seriously, look at the marbling on these two beef ribs. Doesn't that look intense? So I picked up this at Vessel Meats here in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Now, reflecting back on this, you can actually see there's quite the fat cap that runs through the center of this along the top to separate that small thin layer of meat. I probably should have trimmed that down, but we can talk about that in a little bit. I'll show you a little bit more on that. But to start off, I grabbed some Burton's W sauce and I coated every single side. That's really important here. I'm using this as a binder. And if you don't really know what a binder is, basically you use it to stick on your dry rub a little bit better by making the meat a little bit wet and giving it something that the actual dry rub will tack onto. When you then smoke it, it kind of like evaporates off, but leaves the dry rub there. So today I'm using Perpetual Beef by Rolling Bones Barbecue. Personally, I think this is like honestly one of the best barbecue dry rubs I have ever used for building a delicious bark. Now, I'm from Atlantic Canada, and the flavor profile on this specific seasoning I actually think is Cajun. I'm not 100% certain, but what I can tell you is it's absolutely delicious and incredible. So, super stoked about it, and hell yeah, if you've never tried Perpetual Beef, like, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This stuff is incredible. Now, with beef ribs, you do not need to remove the membrane on the very bottom. You can score them, but where I have such a small set of ribs, there's only two, I just left it as is. Now, today I'm using my Pit Boss Tabletop smoker. I believe the model number is 150 PPS. This is a new smoker that I got to myself. Just I won it in a contest on Instagram, and like, it's been friggin' awesome. So this specific cook, I went 9 hours at 250, and man, oh man, it was just immaculate. So the pellets that I used, I believe, were a mixture of maple, hickory, and cherry wood, all together into one little like pellet blend. And man, running this little Pit Boss grill was so simple. I mean, you just plug it in and you set the digital thermometer to whatever you want it to be. I just checked these regularly and was spritzing them with some apple cider vinegar every time it kind of looked like it might have been drying out. Now, as you can see there, as these are starting to cook, we're getting some bone pull here. It's actually looking fantastic. But the thing I really want to point out right now is that fat cap that I mentioned earlier. You can kind of see it there. Well, you can see it. It's like that line right there, and it runs through the entire thing. And the problem here is that I didn't render this long enough. I should have probably gone 11 to 12 hours. You'll see here when I actually cut into this, I didn't render all the fat. So what we end up with is like two pieces of beef ribs that are floating above in this gelatinous kind of, fatty, gooey mess. Like, it's delicious, but it's not the most appealing. And I ended up having to trim it off. I'll show that here shortly. But as we're going along here, I'm just regularly checking it. If it's looking too dry, I'm giving it a little bit of a spritz, nothing crazy. And I'm just letting that smoke run over it at 250. Again, low and slow. Patience is key here, everyone. Now, as we continue to cook along, you are going to notice that bone pull and the bark. With the bark, pay attention. If it starts getting really dark and you don't have a heavy peppercorn blend, then you definitely want to be careful, because that means you're kind of burning those spices. As you can see here, though, this is just getting to where I think it's ready to maybe add in some tallow. So what I ended up doing was adding in a little bit of tallow, and then just kind of melting it down, and then gave it a little pour over top. I can't emphasize this enough. It wasn't too much tallow. But this is what it looked like afterwards, like after about 9 hours. This was fantastic. As you can see here, I have just a little bit left, so I poured that on top too. Nothing too crazy. Just adding in those juices, right? Because if you got the juices, you definitely want to use them. That's for sure. Really psyched about this bone pull as well. That turned out great. And man, oh man, does this ever smell and look delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and slice on into this. I'm using a serrated knife. That's what you should always use. And look at that. It's just cooked perfectly. And as you can see there, though, at the top, all that gelatinous fat that was there. There's that fat cap. Like I said, I should have rendered this down a little bit longer, like another 2 or 3 more hours. I'm not too worried about it, right? All I did was I took my knife and kind of sliced through that gooey, fatty, gelatinous part. And I actually just nibbled on it because it was absolutely fantastic. But this is what I was basically left with, right? Like, talk to me about it. That beef rib looks absolutely delicious. But I really wanted to get manly about this. And like I said, I saw TFTI just put out this bowl of beans and beef ribs, and I just laughed to myself because I was like, that is the definition of delicious barbecue. I gotta give this a go. So that's exactly what I did. I went and found myself in the cupboard some delicious maple beans because you know I'm Canadian. Of course, I got some maple flavored beans in the cupboard, and we ended up cooking it and throwing it in with some candied jalapenos. I'll show all this here in just a split second, but while I'm talking about this, I should really shut up and just talk about how unbelievable this beef rib looks. Doesn't that look so ooey gooey and juicy? Doesn't that just look delicious? Like, man, oh man, both of these ribs. Check out that bark. Like, heck yeah, so juicy. That beef was so tender and delicious. Oh man, I really enjoyed these beef ribs. It's too bad that I left that fat cap on there. Should have trimmed it down, but hey, you live and you learn. So let's get back to that bowl of beans. I grabbed Tyler's Hot Stuff Candy Hot Mix. It's delicious candied jalapenos and other peppers. This stuff is really friggin' good. If you're ever at the Seaport Farmers Market in Halifax, look out for Tyler's Hot Stuff. Oh man, oh man. So I just went in with a couple of these candied jalapenos. Basically putting just a couple across the bottom, nothing too crazy, but I wanted to bring a little bit of heat into these beans. Like, that maple flavor is so smooth and gentle by adding in these candied jalapenos. Candied jalapenos are not as hot as like just straight jalapenos. That sugary texture mixture kind of brings it down a little bit. So by adding in these, it still gets some kick. Add in a little bit of sweetness, but I thought I'd add in just a little bit of this, some of the candied pepper juice, man, oh man. And then boom, throw in that beef rib. Like, hell yeah, this is going to be incredible. Now, trust me, guys, if you want to get better on your barbecue this year, you need to like and subscribe. Join my channel. I'm always dropping these unbelievably delicious barbecue recipes. I know I'm tooting my own horn here, but like, guys, look at this beef rib. Doesn't it look friggin' delicious? And beans and candied jalapenos. Like, who's lining you up for some of the best farts of your life? For real. Like, I know I don't normally show it, but guys, I had to kind of show this. These beef ribs were perfect to bite into. Oh man, with that ooey gooey maple bean right on there, the sauce along with the bark. I'm not gonna lie, guys, at this point I just got ravenous and just disgusting with it. I went all in, taking multiple bites here, just really ravenously enjoying myself. Like, for real. These were fall off the bone, tender, delicious, ooey gooey, wonderful, man. Like, I really wish, yeah, check it, boom, just fell right off the bone there. Holy cow. For real, this was unbelievable. So thanks for watching. Take care. Stay safe. And do yourself a favor. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like I said, you're going to love all the recipe videos. Go check my channel out. I'm dropping them all the time. Thanks again. Appreciate you watching. Chat soon.